So I'm going to take you through how I made this wreath Christmas card. I'm using James C Brett Twinkle yarn, so I've got green, white and red. And the cards that I'm using are these brown sort of rustic cards, which are just short of 15 centimetres square. Yeah, just short of 15 centimetres square, but you can use whatever size card and colours you've got available, as long as you're happy with that you can fit the wreath on there somewhere. And if you want to put wording on, make sure you've got space for the words as well. So the hook that I'm using is a 2.75mm hook. Not sure if you can see that there. And we're going to start off with the green yarn and make a slip knot. And chain 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're going to join this chain into a circle by slip stitching into that first stitch that we made. So making sure your chain isn't twisted, it's nice and flat. Insert your hook into that first chain that you made. Grab the yarn and pull through both stitches. There. So we've now got a complete circle of chains. So next we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That counts as our first stitch. And we're going to work into this circle 23 treble crochets. So if you're working in US terms, that will be 23 double crochets. So yarn over hook, insert into the circle, grab the yarn, pull through, got 3 loops on the hook, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. So we've got our chain of 3 and we've got our first stitch there. So we'll do another one. So yarn over, insert into the chain, pull the yarn through, 3 loops on the hook, pull through 2 and then pull through 2. We'll do another one. Yarn over, insert into the loop, grab the yarn, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we've got the 3 chain that counts as the first stitch, and then we've made a further 1, 2, 3 stitches. So we've got 4 in that loop now. We need a total of 24. So I'm going to add a further 20 stitches around this chain circle, so that at the end, when I get back to the beginning, I'll have 24 in total. So if you want to work your way around, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. So I've worked my way all the way around the circle of chains and I'm back at the beginning. So we're going to slip stitch into the top stitch of the chain 3 we made at the beginning. So there's the chain 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to slip stitch into this top chain, pull the yarn through both stitches, and we've joined there. So we've got a complete circle. So for the second round, we're going to work around the stitches on the outside edge, and we're going to be working with half treble crochets. That's UK terms. If you're using US terms, then it'd be half double crochets. So to start off with, we're going to chain 2, and then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 half double crochets or 2 half treble crochets in UK terms. So that will increase. So we're going to do 2 stitches into that 1 stitch to create an increase. So yarn over, insert your hook into that next stitch, pull the yarn through, so you've got 3 loops on the hook, and then pull the yarn through all 3 stitches. So that's the first one. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch because we're creating an increase. Yarn over, pull through, so we've got 3 stitches on the hook again, so we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches. So what we've got now, so the first 2 chains that we created, they're going to count as the first half treble crochet stitch, or half double crochet in US terms. Now in the next stitch we did 2 half treble crochets to create the increase. In the next stitch we're just going to do 1 half treble crochet. So yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through, oops, try and start that again. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches. So we've just done 1 half treble crochet into that stitch. So in the next stitch we're going to do 2 half treble crochets, so that's another increase. So yarn over, pull through all 3, that's 1. Now in the same stitch we're going to do yarn over, into the stitch, pull through and yarn through all 3. So we've got our chain 2 which counts as 1 stitch, and then we've got 2 half treble crochets in the next stitch, 1 half treble crochet in the next stitch, 2 half treble crochets in the next stitch. So we're now going to do 1 half treble crochet in the next stitch. That's 1, and then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 half treble crochets. That's 1, 2, and in the next stitch it'll be 1 half treble crochet. So we're going to complete that pattern all the way around. So the next stitch will be 2 half treble crochets, then the next stitch will be 1 half treble crochet, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 1. So if you want to work that all the way around, I'll meet you back at the beginning shortly. Okay, so I've reached the beginning and I'm going to slip stitch into the second chain of the chain 2 we made at the beginning. So there's the first chain, there's the second chain. So I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that second chain to complete the circle and to complete the work of the green. So then snip off the end and pull the yarn through that loop to fasten off. So that's the green element of the wreath completed. So now I forgot to, usually I crochet over the top of the yarn ends, but I've not done that on this occasion, so I'm just going to quickly weave in the yarn end from the centre. Snip that off. Okay, so that's the green element of the wreath completed. So we're now going to work our way around the edge to create this white snow effect. So taking the white yarn, and your hook, insert the hook anywhere around the edge, any stitch, push through the stitch and then pull the yarn through to the front. And there's our first stitch there on the front. So what we're going to do on this round is we're going to be chaining one and then slip stitching into the next stitch. So chain one, and then in the very next stitch we do a slip stitch. So pull the yarn through and then straight through that stitch on the hook, and then we're going to chain one, and then in the next stitch another slip stitch, and then chain one, in the next stitch slip stitch. As you can see, I'm working my stitches over this tail end of the yarn. So chain one, into the next stitch, slip stitch, chain one, slip stitch in the next stitch, and we're just going to work our way around, chain one, slip stitch into the next stitch, and that's it for the white element of this wreath. So if you want to continue working round, chain one, slip stitch into the next stitch all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Okay, so when you get back round to the beginning, do your final chain one, slip stitch, chain one, and then slip stitch join to that first stitch of the round. Okay, and then we're going to cut the yarn and pull through to fasten off. Okay, so that's the main part of the wreath completed. So I'm just going to take a yarn needle and weave this yarn tail end into the stitches on the wrong side of the wreath. So if you just weave through about half a dozen of the white stitches and back again to secure. Cut the end off, and we've got the main part of the wreath completed. So for the next bit we need a decent length of the red yarn. Thread it onto the needle. Now for this element we're going to be weaving in and out, or stitching in and out this red yarn to give a sort of ribbon effect, I suppose. Now if you look at your wreath, you've got your treble crochet stitches, or half double crochet stitch in US terms, in the first part of the loop, and then you've got your half treble crochet stitches or half double crochet stitches in the second half. Where the two rows join, you can see you've got little holes. Now I use these to weave in and out of. So going from the right side in, anywhere in the circle, go in on one side, pull it through. You need to leave a decent amount of tail yarn there to make the bow later. And then if you look for the hole between those two inner and outer green rows, and then push up through from the back, and then we'll go in through the next hole, and then we'll come up through the next one, in through the next, up through the next one. Now I'm not doing this too tightly because I want the red to be fairly visible. If you pull it too tight, then it won't be as obvious. So in through the next one. Then up through the next one. So I'm just going to continue this all the way around in between those two green rows until I get back to where I started. Okay, now I'm back to where I started. I've threaded the red yarn all the way through and around, and I've not gone into that very last little hole there. I've just finished where the yarn has come through. So I'll take the needle off there, and I'm just going to tie, this is tricky actually, but I'm just going to tie a small bow on the front. So okay, trying to get it neat and small isn't the easiest thing, but it's just a bit of trial and error and quite fiddly, and the yarn is prone to splitting the more I'm that's not okay. There, happy with that now. So if I just level off there, so there's the wreath ready to go onto a card. As I say, the cards that I'm using are about 14.5 to 15 centimetres square. And for the message at the bottom of the card, I used these outline stickers that I got from Amazon. But you could, if you had a steady hand and neat handwriting, you could use a black marker or pen at the bottom to write your message. To stick this wreath on there. So I use this Hi-Tack all-purpose glue from the craft shop because it's useful. It can be used for fabrics, paper crafts, hobbies, general crafts. So I'm going to put some glue around the outside edge of this wreath to help it stick down. And then position the wreath where you're happy with. Now I'm just going to make sure that's pretty central, so just needs moving over slightly, and then I'm happy with that now, so I can press that into place. Okay, so there's the finished wreath Christmas card. Now I've left this one reasonably plain because I want the crochet work to be the highlight of the card. That's the finished wreath Christmas card. I've got another 6 designs. If you look out for those, I'm also making YouTube videos for the rest of them. So yeah, hope you have fun making this.